all present here. I, Shreyash Kashyap,
And I, Shruti Savar,
warmly welcome you all to the inaugural ceremony of the 6th edition of the Transdisciplinary International Conference on Navigating and Fostering the Equitable World, Rebuilding Resilience for G20, in academic collaboration with Himachal Pradesh National University, Shimla, taking place on 12th and 13th September 2023. Our supporting partner is Legalify India and our knowledge partner is Law Level Up. Our media partners are Knowledge Seas, Kacheri.in, Desi Kanun and Law Bhumi. And our NGO partner is Law Awareness Society. Transdisciplinary approach promotes the capacity to integrate knowledge and modes of thinking drawn from two or more disciplines to produce a cognitive advancement. This Transdisciplinary International Conference is the 6th edition to the previous successful Transdisciplinary International Conferences organized since 2017. In accordance with Amity University tradition, we begin every event with the prayers to the Almighty. The word fire or Agni is used to signify purity, strength, kindness, wealth, truth, and wisdom in our culture. I'll request all the dignitaries on this years to join us for the lighting of the lamp and Vandana.
वक्रतुंड महाकाय सूर्यकोटि समप्रभा निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा वक्रतुंड महाकाय सूर्यकोटि समप्रभा निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा. In light with this endeavor, in mind that we feel privileged to have amongst us our esteemed dignitaries on the dais, who have honored us with their presence today. The culmination of G20 proceedings, along with University Connect, aims to harbor an all-inclusive outcome of the G20 summit. The G20 is an opportunity at an opportune time to bring consensus between major countries to strengthen the global agenda and solve development challenges, climate and energy and security challenges.
Realizing the fiction of tomorrow, Amity Law School has leaped ahead in the flagship event Transdisciplinary International Conference 2023 with the theme Navigating and Fostering the Equitable World, Rebuilding Resilience for G20. The international conference platform dealing with experts, academicians, scholars, and students will certainly share the insights and findings on the themes relating to India's economic growth towards attaining the equitable world.
Now, I would like to invite Ms. Swati Kaushal, ma'am, the faculty convener, to introduce the guests.
Thank you, Shruti. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, our esteemed guests, and dear participants from around the nation. I am Swati Kaushal, the faculty convener of the 6th edition of Transdisciplinary International Conference. It is my great pleasure on behalf of Amity Law School, Noida, Amity University, to welcome you all. I am all the more delighted to extend my warmest welcome to everyone Through this conference, we would like to engage with all the dignitaries, professionals, academicians, and students in an open and constructive deliberation on our theme of this time for the conference. This is the 6th edition that we are holding our major event in a hybrid format. But this year, our conference will aim to provide a comprehensive overview of the current state of our theme of navigating and fostering the equitable world, rebuilding resilience for G20, and its significance in accelerating India's economic growth in the coming years to attain equitable world. The conference will also aim to identify new avenues of research and provide recommendations for future initiatives to further enhance India's economic growth while ensuring sustainability and social inclusiveness. In a world that faces complex challenges, our ability to come together, share ideas, and forge alliances is paramount. The G20, representing the world's greatest economies, has convened to address pressing global challenges that transcend borders and demand collective action. Our presence here underscores the significance of cooperation, dialogue, and understanding in shaping a better world for all. In the spirit of unity, let us embark on these days of discussion with open minds and open hearts. Let our decisions reflect our commitment to global well-being. May this conference be a beacon of collaboration, inspiring us to strive for sustainable futures that echo through generations. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am, for your kind introduction to the event and the guests. Now I request Professor Dr. Shefali Raizada and Chairman Sir to welcome our guests. With utmost pleasure, I would now like to call upon Professor Dr. Shefali Raizada ma'am, Additional Director and HOI of Amity Law School, Noida, a true academician with varied interests. She has led the law school with a firm but gentle hand. She holds a PhD in law and... Thank you.
Thank you so much. They know. So very good morning and very warm welcome to all our dignitaries on the dais, all my faculty colleagues and their students. It's a really happy moment for Amity Law School as we are at the moment in the inaugural session of our 6th edition Transdisciplinary International Conference. The title that is given with lot of thoughts, which is given to decide the title for this conference, because it is a transdisciplinary in nature, that is navigating and fostering the equitable world, rebuilding resilience for G20. Obviously, various dimensions and various aspects have been chosen. These days, various activities are going around the nation, around the various universities with regard to the G20. So G20 is the one world, but a big world. I'm very thankful. This conference is in the academic collaboration with the Himachal Pradesh National Law University, Shimla. I am very thankful to Professor Dr. Nishtha Jaiswal ma'am for giving this trust and showing the confidence in Amity Law School to give this collaboration and having this event all together. Thank you so very much. So obviously, I will not go through much about the G20, but certainly I would like to highlight here that Amity Law School has set the various benchmarks having these activities to enhance the ability, capabilities, and skills of the students, not only within the classroom teaching, but also outside through these activities. It is up to you how you pick the treasure out of these activities and events which are being organized for the law students. So obviously, Amity Law University is a leading research-oriented and research-driven university, and it is the responsibility on the institute like the Amity Law School for enhancing this research, this collaboration, this academic thought process through these activities, and to inculcate some academic inputs in our students. So with God's grace and blessings of our founder president, Sir Dr. Ashok K. Chauhan, with all motivation and good wishes of our Chancellor, Sir Dr. Atul Chauhan, certainly with all guidance, support, and directions of our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor Dr. Balvinder Shukla, certainly with our chairman's, Professor Dr. Bandyopadhyay's support, guidance, and motivation, we are here to start this conference that is of 2-day event. So on this occasion, we have put it in a hybrid mode so that we can connect worldwide with various academicians, professors, and industry persons. So that is what our intent, to connect the world on this platform. So first of all, I would like to convey my high regards to Professor Dr. Nishtha Jaswal, ma'am, Vice Chancellor, Himachal Pradesh National Law University, Shimla. Ma'am, you are here. To see you here on this platform, it's a big day. It's a big honor to welcome you on this platform. So thank you so very much for coming and giving your time to all of us and to spend with Amity Law School on this platform. Thank you so very much. Again, I will convey my gratitudes to our guest of honor, Mr. Manu Seth, Chairman, Jharkhand State Environment Council and CEO of Speaking Minds. So thank you so very much, sir, for coming and spending time. He was looking after what exactly the area to speak on, because it's a very, very wide. What would be the fit and suitable path to speak and to interact with the law students? So it's a big, big honor for us. He is with us today on this occasion. I'm very thankful and welcome. I welcome Dr. R.B. Lal, Director, Member, Secretary, Expert Appraisal Committee, Ministry of Environment, Forest, Climate Change, Government of India. And he has joined online. So thank you so very much, Namaskar. Dr. Lal, for yes, namaskar, and thank you so very much. It's my privilege that I'm welcoming you and seeing you here on a very, very important day for the Amity University. So thank you once again for accepting our invitation. I also welcome Dr. Pradeep Kumar, President IEEF, Warsaw, Poland, Faculty, University of Applied Sciences, NISA, Poland. He would be joining shortly online. So thank you all the dignitaries as a keynote speakers for the day. Conference as the very academic activity where the thought-provoking inputs we can have, and it's very essential for you students to think, to have the interaction with all the speakers, and also to satisfy your inquisitiveness. So thank you so very much. I welcome our chairman, sir. Here he's always with Amity Law School student. He is the pillar, he is the navigator. So thank you so very much, sir, for coming. He has not been feeling well for past 5-6 days, but still he was very much anxious, eager, and excited to join you on this day. So thank you so very much, sir. I also welcome our former Justice High Court, Honorable Rajesh Tandon, sir, for coming. And I requested to address the gathering. Certainly, sir, we are very happy to have you here. I also welcome Dr. Arvind P. Bhanu, our Additional Director, Joint Head, Amity Law School. I also welcome Dr. Tomar would be joining shortly. So I welcome him also, and all the faculty and all the students. Welcome once again, and thank you so very much for coming and patiently listening to me. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am, for your motivational words and supporting us in every initiative. Now, I would like to invite Professor Justice Rajesh Tandon, the additional Vice Chairman of Amity Law Foundation and Amity Judicial Academy. Sir started his career practicing as an advocate in year 1968. He has held several important positions under the Constitution of India. He was appointed as senior advocate in year 2000, honorable judge of the High Court of Uttarakhand in 2004, presiding officer of the Cyber Regulation Appellate Tribunal, Delhi in 2008. We welcome you, sir.
Thank you, Master of Ceremonies. Now, the law students, it's a seminar for you to study and hear on the law subject, and concerning the law for you, it will be beneficial. On the dais, Mrs. Swati Kaushal ji, Shefali Rajada ji, our chief guest, Mr. Manu Seth ji, Dr. D.K. Bandyopadhyay, and Dr. Arvind Bhanuji. Today, we are here to guide you regarding the subject of law concerning G20, and all the speakers will demonstrate before you regarding the importance of G20 concerning the law. I may tell you that the entire structure, since you are law students, entire structure is based on the constitutional law. Article 51 and Article 51A controls the entire law subject and also the entire factual aspect of law. Recently, we have the G20 conference in the Amity and also in the World Conference also. Students, I may tell you that this is also based on Article 51 of the Constitution of India, because Article 51 provides the international relations between the nations, international relations, and the security has to be maintained. And therefore, it was a body of intergovernmental states for which the India has the presidency this year, and therefore the entire structure of the Constitution you have to study. The law students, either you have studied the Constitution or not, but you have to study because entire structure moves on the Article 51 and 51A. Article 51A is also very important. That is to cherish the heritage, and the activities of the rich heritage. That is, आपकी जो परंपरा बनी हुई है, आपकी जो इंडिया की परंपरा बनी हुई है, उसको मेंटेन रखना. That is also a constitutional obligation on you under Article 51A of the Constitution of India. Therefore, either you have studied Constitution or not, but study Article 51 and Article 51A. Both will guide you the entire structure of our country, the entire structure of international and all that. But with these words, I close here. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your impeccable words, sir. That was indeed inspiring. Now, I would like to invite Professor Dr. D.K. Pandapadhyay, sir, the chairman of Amity Law School, to share his words of wisdom and address this gathering. Sir is a multifaceted scholar, academician, administrator, and a visionary leader in India's education community in modern times. A gold medalist in his master's degree, a PhD in computer applications, a fellow from ESSEC Business School Paris, and an inspiring professional. Sir has spent 40 years of his career in academia. We welcome you, sir.
At the outset, I must congratulate the organizing committee, an organizing committee headed by none other than Dr. Shefali Raizada, who actually generated the idea, who ideated the concept of this conference, navigating and fostering the equitable world. Very, very interesting topic. Now, each word of this title of the conference speaks volumes. What is going to be the topics of deliberation in the coming, in today or tomorrow? There lots of efforts have been put in this. Sati Kaushal especially, along with other colleagues, other faculty members, joined hands with Dr. Raizada, who was supported by Dr. A.P. Bhanu and Dr. Aditya Tomar, to give it a shape. And as a matter of fact, Nishtaji, you'll be very happy to know that, we are able to get about 80 abstracts, 80 abstracts. This is all due to your collaboration, due to your smile, due to your vibrations. And 50 papers will be presented online and 30 papers will be presented physical form while will be running this conference. Now, very interestingly to note here, not only our own faculty members, but also faculty members for national law universities, many national law universities from Tamil Nadu, from Rammohan Lohia, from, Delhi University, Jamia Millia University, Lucknow University, and you name any of the good university, whether it's from Maharashtra or from extreme south, they have sent their abstract and they will be coming either online or physically for expressing their views about these topics. And this is very, very interesting phenomena that we can see it, that people are now coming out of the den, that law education is not only the constitution, law education is not only the law of torts, law education is not only for the purpose of IPC, CPC or CRPC, but law education much beyond. And that beyond, we have to charter a new path, because still law education we used to consider as a professional education. Now, when we are going to break the shackles to make it an academic program, and that academic program, if we want to give it, then we have to see that how this academic instinct to be brought in, and we give it to the students, so that if you are able to give the conceptual foundations and also interrelated connectivity of law with the other subject areas, then bare acts will do for them. They all understand under what context the law is applicable, what are the situation law is applicable, and that understanding will be converting the whole scenario of the law education today. That's my personal belief. And, and that is the way how the trend is. And toward this effort, Nistaji, that Dr. Rajada has put an efforts that can we make all discipline together, come and find the intersections. Because if we just look at the evolution of any subject, we can see that, or evolution of any society, if we just look at, it has its historical perspective. Whether it's from the cave age, generally whenever people come and discuss with me, these are the topics which comes from my mouth because I feel convinced about it. From cave age to the monarch age, to the king's age, to the socialistic pattern of governance, to the democratic pattern of governance, these are all have evolved. And the just society, during those times, people used to consider the just society. Now, if we just look at that, those days, we feel today, no, they are all very, very unjust society. Britishers, when they came, and they had their own rules and regulations to govern us, to the natives. And they felt it is just. But today, when we look at it, we feel, no, they are not just. That means the societal evolution is continuously taking place. And if the societal evolution continuously taking place, then we need to see that how those things to be captured and those things to be taken into consideration from evidence-based judicial systems to some new form of the judicial system. Because today we can see that in every case, unless and until you have evidence, it goes on in the court of law. As a matter of fact, the justice delayed is justice denied all the time takes place. If that is so, then is there no necessity that we have to relook it? Is it that whatever this IPC they talked about evidence-based, and when the evidence people go on collecting it, and the criminals, they go on destroying? Because I am a very vivid viewer of the criminal episodes, which is being shown in the Doordarshan, shown in the television. I find that how criminals very cunningly, intelligently, they destroy the evidence. As a matter of fact, justice never prevails, hardly prevails, because they are powerful and they are able. So can we have some other way of doing it? If the America can do it, if Europe can do it, if there is a time limit of giving that justice in India, although we know that our society is a very complex society, our constitution, the way it has been, it is again evolution. Constitution, when it was written, it took quite some time before it could be released for the citizen of the nation. But that is again evolution. They started capturing how to govern the different facets of the societies. Now, while doing so, that way back, 49, and today, after 50 years, after 73 or 74 years, are they really needs to be relooked? These are some of the questions, academic questions must be raised, that better can be raised in this type of conferences. And find a solution. We have to provide a solution to that. Now, recently there is a change in all the IPC, CPC, CRPC, Sanghita have been created. Now that also we need to look at it. Is it really changed, or it is in the old wine in the new bottle? That again needs to be relooked as an academician, as a researcher from those aspects. And they can only be relooked, dear student, if we are totally aware about the society, the political system of the society, the sociological system of the society, the economic systems of the society, the historical perspective of the society and the technological perspective of the society, because the way the technology has changed. Only yesterday I came to know that, nobody has given the OTP, but somebody's bank account has been hacked. And some BBC news reader was showing it, how it happened. He said that our Aadhaar, unless and until we block the Aadhaar biometric, anybody can use my Aadhaar card. And the criminals, they try to collect my fingerprints from the registered document, and they withdraw money from my bank without knowing me, without any knowledge of mine. Even the bank officials, they are succumbed. So the technological evolution, it has taken place. And still, there are so much is happening about the use of technology like blockchain, AI, and email. There is so much of apprehension and so much of fear in the mind of the people. So this evolution is taking place, and the multidisciplinarity of the evolution needs to be arrested, needs to be looked into. Now, recently G20 has taken place. If we consider the G20, look at the way. Now they talk about Indo-Gulf European Union corridors. If Indo-Gulf European corridors are going to open up, you must have heard it. Indo-Gulf European corridors. Have you heard it? Students, have you heard this? Have you heard it? No. You have not heard it. Only day before yesterday, there is an announcement by the Prime Minister Modi that there is going to be Indo-Gulf European Union corridors for trade. Now look at, going to be tremendous opportunities for trade, associated problem of immigration, associated problem of the law, associated problem of the fintech, associated problem of human rights. So these are the new opportunities for study that are really going to open up before us. Now, if we are not creating our mindset to look at those dimensions from a multidisciplinary perspective, possibly we shall not be able to address those issues. Now the time has come, the evolution of the time has come, that we should not remain in silos. We must break the silos. We should cut across the boundaries. Sovereignty concept used to be very, very valid during the Austin days. Now today, if we just look at sovereignty limitation actually coming down, shrinking and shrinking. All great leaders of the nation, world, they came together because they know the governance system that has been now evolved, whether it's a democratic way of governance or autocratic way of governance, socialistic way of governance, it is not giving peace and tranquility in the mind of the people of the world. Now, what else needs to be done? What else needs to work it out? That is again a matter for exploration. Now, you are going to be the future beneficiary of those. So you have to see that what is that change that we must bring in our law education, the law curriculum, in the law subjects. And this type of conferences will help us to come together, deliberate, discuss, and then formulate. And that will be the great. And that's the reason I think Mr. Jaswalji, who is the director of Himachal Pradesh National Law University, he trusted us. He gave the opportunity to us that let us collaborate each other and let us conduct this type of multidisciplinary conferences. Now, I am thankful to Mr. Seth, who has come over here all the way from Environmental Council, and he's the CEO of Speaking Minds. And I'm thankful to him for coming over here. and also my colleagues, Professor Tandonji, who is a retired justice, just now you have heard him, very well-read person, legal luminaries, and he is going to all the time bless to all of you. And of course, my colleague, A.P. Bhanu. Do you know him? What is his name? Twice I have mentioned that. Can anyone tell me? What is his name? I call him Akhand Pratap Bhanu. He is A.P. Bhanu. He has totally different name, but I call him Akhand because when any question of constitution will come, it will be very difficult to, और जो बोलते हैं, it's very difficult to उसको खंडना बड़ा मुश्किल होती है. इसलिए मैंने उसको नाम दिया है अखंड प्रताप भानु. And I would request all of you, if you have got any doubt, anything about constitution, go and meet him. You will be benefited, highly benefited, and you will get a very beautiful clarity about the evolution of the constitution and the different features of the constitution and the demand for change in the constitutions. And there are different contradictions in the constitutions. And when you look at in a very cool mind and a very nice way, we can see that. But the time has also come that we have to relook them from a purely from the academic angle. And once hundreds and thousands of the academicians they started talking about it, essentially it has to change, it will be changing. Now, I am also thankful to our Honorable Vice Chancellor, who actually encouraged us to for the conduction of this conference. And certainly, Pradeep Kumar ji, I think he likely to join, and he will be joining from actually Poland. And I'm expecting that he will be able to join. There is some sort of technical glitch. And R.B. Lal ji, who is waiting, said we are eagerly waiting to listen from you. And you are the director, member secretary, export appraisal committee. So what a great combination that we could see this. Somebody is from Speaking Mind, somebody is from Export Council, somebody is from Judiciary, then somebody is Pradeep Kumar ji, who is European Economic Foundations, Economic Forum. And these are the type of people that we are, and certainly our Mr. Jaswal ji, who is one of the collaborators, he is the collaborator of the seminar. Now, Dr. Rajada, thank you once again. And these are all possible due to the man who created this university, MIT University, Dr. Ashok K. Chauhan. He created this university and gave us this opportunity to create a platform where we can discuss, deliberate, and create a new ideas. Because if we are going to go on just dabbling with the old ideas, human society, human race cannot progress. So there is a need of fusion. And fusion can only take place when there are many disciplines come together, merge together, and fusion take place. And this is the time of fusion. And Dr. Rajada, thank you very much for this conference, organizing this conference. And we all thank to our Honorable Founder President for giving us this platform. Certainly our Chancellor, who encourages us. He only talks about that tradition must blend with modernity. That is his slogan. And another slogan he gives, we shall collectively change the world. And we shall collectively change the world. So thank you very much.
Thank you for enlightening us with your insightful address, sir. Now, I introduce with great pleasure our guest of honor, Professor Dr. Nishtha Jaiswal, ma'am, who is joining us online. She is an academician, administrator, and currently the Vice Chancellor of National Law University, Shimla. She is the first woman Vice Chancellor of HPNLU Shimla. Ma'am did her PhD in 1989 from Punjab University. Her field of specialization is constitutional law, administrative law, human rights, and environmental law. She has published 56 papers, presented presented in 25 seminars and conferences, and has published 6 books. I now request ma'am to share a few words of wisdom.
Thank you, beta. At the very outset, I would just like to say, as Professor Bandyopadhyay time and again expressed gratitude towards HPNLU. Sir, we are joint stakeholders of humanity. G20 also gives the same message. I can quote Henry Ford when he said, very rightly said, coming together is the beginning, keeping together is progress, and working together is success. So all of us must move towards success. And when the topic itself refers to rebuilding resilience for G20, we must resolve, and I'm citing Sangathan Sukti from Rigveda. Samani va akuti samana hridyani va samanamastu vo manoyatha susahasati, which means united be our purpose, harmonious be our feelings, collected be our mind, in the same way in which this universe exists in togetherness. And fostering an equitable world is a complex and ongoing constant process that requires efforts at various levels. And the moment we refer to G20, already reference has been made to Article 51. I don't want to cross the boundaries even of preamble. If we just read one word, that is fraternity. Fraternity gives the slogan of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. And once we consider whole earth as our family, I don't think there's any difficulty in why to say rebuilding. We have already built resilience for that. Equitable world, the most difficult term to explain. An equitable word is one where all the individuals, irrespective of their background, their circumstances, their culture, their nationality, any kind of distinction, they have the right, they must have the opportunity to thrive and reach their full potential. And this word is always dreamt as full of justice, fairness, and I would love to quote Swami Vivekananda, what he talked about equitable world. It's a long quote, but beautiful. And if we imbibe it, I think we have the complete theme of this conference. This universe as an absolute entity is unchangeable and unchanged. And the same throughout. But you and I and everybody else hear and see, each one his own universe. Take the sun. The sun is one. But when you and I and 100 other people stand at different places and look at it, each one of us sees a different sun. We cannot help it. A very little change of place will change a man's whole vision. A slight change in the atmosphere will make again a different vision. So, in relative perception, truth always appears various, but the absolute truth is only one. Therefore, we need not fight with others when we find they are telling something about their religion which is not exactly according to our view. We ought to remember that both of us may be true, though apparently contradictions. There may be millions of radii converging towards the same center in the sun, The further they are from the center, the greater is the distance between any two. But as they will meet at the center, all the differences vanish. There's such a center, which is the absolute goal of mankind. It is God. We are the radii. The distances between the radii are the constitutional limitations through which alone we can catch the vision of God. While standing on this plane, we are bound, each one of us, to have a different view of the absolute reality. And as such, all views are true, and no one of us need quarrel with one another. The only solution lies in approaching the center. If we try to settle our differences by arguments or quarreling, we shall find that we can go on for hundreds of years without coming to a conclusion. History proves that the only solution is to march ahead and go towards the center. And the sooner we do, and the sooner our differences will vanish. The key principles of any equitable world are nothing but equality, non-discrimination, inclusivity, social justice. Everybody must have basic needs, so that, I want to add here, so that ultimately Abraham Maslow's need theory proves true. I have everything fulfilled. Now I want to self-actualize. And when everybody will be able to self-actualize, only then there will be equitable world. Of course, we talk about economic equity as well as equality, environmental sustainability, climate action, climate justice, political representation, because in all the democratic countries, we do talk about good governance and focuses on that, and good governance where rule of law prevails, where all are treated equal in the equal circumstances. Now, these principles are the challenges before us. And these principles only will show the light to meet the issues and challenges. Today, in 2023, we are just talking about G20, where, in respective of the cultural diversity, I am not focusing on those aspects because I have found most of the sub-themes of this conference, they were the matters which are resolved. And in fact, when we talk about becoming a Vishwa Guru, we created history by resolving a maximum number of issues, 73, which is the record till date. Let us wait if anybody can break this record. And on cultural issues, how pride we feel. How much pride we feel when we see the Konark at the back, when we talk about Nalanda, when we have the statue of Natarajan. This is how we are going to succeed. And what is the resilience? I'm going to talk about that also. But before that, I would like to refer to the Sustainable Development Goals, which was a promise towards humanity in 2015, which we intend to achieve by 2030. Let's hope for the best. Now, if we want an equitable world, what is required? All the 17 Sustainable Development Goals, whether we talk about no poverty or zero hunger, or we refer to good health, quality education, or gender equality, or no inequality, or we talk about a decent working system, we talk about the environment, clean water, under life below water, life on land, climate action. Most important are the last two, when we refer to peace, justice, and strong institutions, SDG 16, or when we talk about 17, partnership for the goals. In fact, the whole world has to join hands. In the equitable world, Now, our value system may differ because of the national boundaries, maybe religions, maybe language, maybe culture, but ultimately, whatever we do for the progress, it should not have any adverse impact on humanity. We are very, very fortunate that we have the sanctum sanctorum, the Constitution of India. Each word in the Constitution is in fact nothing but angelic. And we are making the best efforts through our three organs of the state, legislature, executive, and judiciary, to achieve the objectives. And wide interpretations are being given so that we have equitable world. On the one hand, if we talk about negative equality under part third, on the other hand, we talk about the positive equality, equality for formal equality for masses under directive principles of state policy. Now, if we had the barrier of that we cannot enforce the directive principles of state policy, the Supreme Court read many of the directive principles in part third of the Constitution. This widening scope of Article 21 is the living example. In the modern world, we have to march ahead, as I quoted Swami Vivekananda also. Now, there we have to be in consonance with the technological developments also. But with these technological developments, we cannot forget the ultimate aim of achieving equilibrium, entering into a more equitable world where there will be no discrimination. I am just referring to, because we are taking support, we are just considering AI as the most important pillar of progress. Now, I would like to say that no doubt some efficiency will increase. Life may become easier, and we may talk about more productivity, but we cannot forget that ultimately, whether this universe, whether any nation, whether any society, we may come to the simplest possible unit. Who form this? We, the human beings. So human touch will always be missed. We may increase IQ level through robots, but we cannot increase EQ level. And if algorithms are used for feeding the AI, then if that emotional touch is there, that will be full of biases. While in the equitable world, we talk about fairness. We may have the issues of data inequity. We may have the issue of digital divide. We may have the issue of job displacement or privacy issues or ethical issues. Now, before we think this is the real progress, before we want to forget Nalanda and we want to make AI as our tutor, we must accept the challenges and make the best efforts to meet these challenges. And that is why, now, as the theme says, rebuilding the resilience. Now, what is the resilience? I'll just quote a Sanskrit shloka. उत्साहशीलस्य निश्चय अद्य शोकांतकारी विभाव सुस्थिति आरोग्यम आयुर्बलाभिवृद्धि करोति प्रज्ञाम बुद्धिमदाम प्रसादः, which means resilience is the unwavering determination that dispels the end of sorrow, maintaining a stable state amidst the fluctuations of life. It bestows health, longevity, and strength, while also enriching the wisdom of the wise. How can I forget to refer to Charles Darwin, who said, "It's not the strongest of the species that survive, not the most intelligent, but the one most responsive to change." In my opinion, if we change, with the change we survive. We change before the change, we succeed. But if we bring the change, as India did in a G20, we are the leaders. And I can share with you, the Kul Geet of HPNLU is focused on Vishwa Guru banna hai, kyun na gurur kare. And we can achieve resilience if we understand the meaning of Swasti Praja Bhaya Paripalyantam Nyayen Margen Mahi Mahisha. That we have to consider the well-being of all people on this earth, and that too by rule of law, and that rule of law has to be followed by rulers. And finally, I'll conclude. As most of you know, I'm a poet by heart. So if each one of us understand what I'm going to say, I think we don't have any issue in having equitable world. धरती से धैर्य संयम अंबर से ले, धरती से धैर्य संयम अंबर से ले, सिकुड़ कोख में समायोजन सीख ले. एडजस्टमेंट. वायु से वेग, वर्षा से शीतलता ले, वायु से वेग, वर्षा से शीतलता ले, स्वभाव पे नियंत्रण सीख ले. मेघों से त्याग, वृक्षों से विनम्रता ले, सागर की गहराई से गंभीरता सीख ले. सूर्य से प्रकाश, फूलों से सुगंध ले, सत्यम शिवम सुंदरम सीख ले. गंगा से पावनता, गंगा से पावनता, पर्वत से ऊंचाई ले, उठ जाग और बढ़ के मंजिल छू ले. मनोभाव से गौरव, आत्मा से शांति ले, मनोभाव से गौरव, आत्मा से शांति ले, माता पिता गुरु से जीवन समर्पण सीख ले. I think this is the advice I can give to all the participants, all the students. Sarve bhavantu sukhina.
Thank you, ma'am. It is our pleasure to have you with us today. It is matter of honor to have amongst us our honorable guest, Mr. Manu Seth, sir. Sir is the founder and CEO of Speaking Minds. Sir is a motivated and dynamic international business leader with 28 plus years of professional experience in setting up various global MNCs operations across India, South Africa, Asia, Middle East market and regions at various CXOs level across India, US and UK markets. Sir has various key strengths such as international business partnerships, trade expansion, sustainable and scalable. Sir promotes socio-economic and bilateral trade prospects, technology, knowledge transfers, partnership initiatives across international markets to boost trade and revenue opportunities, to go-to-market entry, strategy, set up operations, hand-holding and reverse backward integration as required towards building a scalable organization. Sir, we request you to kindly grace us with your words.
Good afternoon, everyone. Am I audible? Thank you. Can I see the same vibrancy that I was seeing while I was walking in the campus? So I'm sure some people would have taken 20 seconds power nap, fresh. If we can make this session more exciting by keeping our phones off, putting our Instagram reels off, and see that how we all can contribute and leverage this such an exciting platform where we are talking about transdisciplinary functions. We are talking about being resilient. And for that, I would like to congratulate the organizing committee and Sanidhya from Ligafy for giving me this an opportunity. And thanks to all the senior professors, sirs, and the ma'ams here for setting up this platform right. So in this context of G20, I would say, let's go in a different way. Rather than we speaking, I would like to have 20 volunteers from this audience, because we all are talking about G20. So next year it goes G21. So can I have some 4 or 5 from the last benches or from this column or 1 or 2 from this column who would love to put any questions around your transdisciplinary functions, how you can leverage your law and the various functional subject matter experts that you are learning in your curriculum, because I'm sure there could be nothing better than this platform which will teach you about your subject. But let's talk something which is more outside this cubicle, outside this room, outside this auditorium, in the practical world, where some of you might want to do your own practice. Some of you would like to contribute back into your business. Some of you might love to work for some international organizations. So can we have some 20 volunteers, or we have no volunteer in this hall? And I'm open for any questions. Yes, that gentleman. Can we have a mic across to him? I think this is working. Okay. Hello. Am I audible? Yes. Can you address with your name and your year and then the question? Let's try to keep it short and interactive.
Morning, sir. My name is Ronit Bagel. I'm a student of Geeta Ratan International Business School. Just want to ask that India has used a line, a quote, Vasudev Kutumbakam. Why and only why this Vasudev Kutumbakam is chosen by our diplomats, by our ministers to address the whole world?
Perfect. I think that's a nice one. It goes to the statement. I'll answer it. Any more questions? Anyone would love to volunteer, or they would love? Yes, ma'am. Someone has to help and run with the mic, please, because this side at the center, near the riser.
Good morning, sir. My
Morning.
name is Nadia Sadiq. I study here at Amity. I'm a BA Honours Philosophy student. This is a bit of a policy-related question, but now that we talk about G20 and about international collaboration, there's a big discussion happening on energy independence, particularly with the US now increasing fracking and reducing exports. So, what do you think is, what should our move and what should the international move ahead be when it comes to energy and energy independence, especially in the context of green energy? Because it's a big area of, influence of stuff like elections and stuff, and, international interference in a lot of domestic policy. So I would love your perspective.
Oh, perfect. So first, to your point on the context and the pretext of this G20 guideline, when you see it says one earth, one family, and one future. Am I saying it right, or have I reversed the order? So to your point, it's all about oneness. It's all about people. It's all about talking about the changes, the multifunctional roles that every cross-functional department is playing. Finance can't play on its own. Law can't work on its own. Technology can't work on its own. Technology is bridging gaps. I'll come to your point of energy also. Technology is getting into education. Today we are doing a phygital mode, which is a combination of hybrid, physical, and everything. And I think that's where it gets lost, but I think everyone is coming back into action. Technology is even getting into the way the business is doing and growing. And we are talking about AI. Ma'am mentioned about AI taking off jobs, but AI is bringing a transformation. Today, when every one of you have to do your articles, you go to Chat GPT and you download the article, 500 words, 2000 words, and you are quick in making your articles. So coming back to your point, one earth, one family, one future is because we all want to work in one sync. And that is where it is being said that G20 for people, it's a people's G20. It's all inclusive. If I was to summarize like top 3 or 4 key takeaways from G20, that brings me as an answer to your point. One, we are talking about MDBs. I don't know how much of you would know about MDBs, but if you are in this function of law and doing this transdisciplinary functions, you should be aware of it. That's multilateral development banks. That's where the whole finance restructuring will happens. That is why it is being said again and again that time is now, time is right. So if you people really want to catch up with the pace, you have to think beyond the curriculum. Yes, what is being taught here is great. What is being given as a curriculum is great. I think there could be nothing better than these professors, sirs, teachers and everything. By the way, I'll come and summarize myself. I'm also an Amity out product. I passed out in 93-94. I conceptualized IFA. I did the launch of Delhi Cricket. It was Delhi Daredevils, then Delhi Capitals, Punjab 11. The launch of BlackBerry. Every one of you is using technology. In 93, 94, we used to think that how do we move from the pager, because we were using pager. We used to have a landline phone. So now technology is on all the chairs. Everyone is interacting with each other. Even people sitting in the front might be interacting with someone at the back. But use that in the benefit of your individual life. That is where these things are burning towards the climate conditions and the climate challenges. When we are talking about environment, we talk about waste, which could be a bio waste, which could be an e-waste, which could be, there's a lot of waste around. It's all getting converted. So coming back on the three takeaways, the first was around multilateral development banks. That's all around your transdisciplinary functions. You're talking about resilient. All the great adjectives, noun, proverbs, my English might be weak, but what all has been used in your concept note is actually happening on practical ground. That's where you need to buckle up your seats, you need to pull up your sleeves, shoes, whatever you want to. Only then you can deliver it on the ground and try to make your papers more practical, get more opportunities across the world, because people are really looking for talent here. The another thing which came across is the inclusion of African Union, slightly getting off track, is a 55 member, just like an European Union of 27 members. That again makes it transdisciplinary and cross-functional, because you are covering almost, I would say 46% of the global population, with India, China and Africa falling in place. That even brings to the other things when we are talking about environment, diversity, equality, all those things gets covered there. Then as sir mentioned about the route, which is inclusive of from India to Middle East to Europe, that's almost close to 8,166 kilometer trade route map. That will include railways, that will include ports, that will include digital, all your digital infrastructure, which you all guys are using as Paytm, you're all digital. I would say a digital portable infrastructure is graduating. With all this happening, the law, the finance, that plays a very, very critical, crucial, and the most important role in terms of governance, in terms of compliance. Now, coming to your point of energy, the BGA that has been formed with 8 countries putting together, the idea is that how do we start addressing these points? It is not a solution that can be arrived in one day. It's many, many things that has to be done. Many initiatives have to be taken, because now, as we have been talking about EPR on e-waste, gradually there will be laws and compliances which you people might be formulating. You people might be making, some of you might be making white papers for plastic waste, for making food waste. And that is where all this energy consumption will transform towards, when we are talking about carbon neutral, carbon emissions. All these numbers will change over the period of time. But yes, all these efforts are happening. Millions and trillions of money has been pushed more. But the committee has been formed to ensure that where the money gets used and how the money gets used. Because how and where is $1 million question, where if young aspirants like you really want to move forward, take initiatives, there are immense opportunities around. So coming back to your point, ma'am, these things will happen gradually. No one will be having an answer right now. But yes, steps have been taken to put the governance in place, policies in place. As sir mentioned about the Article 51, a lot of articles and constitutions will be laid out more, where the execution on the last mile will be restructured, reformulated, and the younger generation, like you all, when you are moving towards your corporate life, business life, your own entrepreneurship, that's where you will start actually using these policies and delivering as per those norms and systems and infrastructures at that point of time. Any more volunteer? Any more questions? I thought there might be 20 takers when we all are talking about G20 and we had more than 100 kids here. Or I would say the young minds and the young talents. Yes, please. Can we have the mic at the last? So, where is the mic? Can we have just 2 volunteers from the organizing committee in the center for 3-4 minutes at the max? Trust me, otherwise some would have already completed their power naps and when they move out, they will feel, oh, it was a refreshing session. कोई टेंशन नहीं थी, कोई चिलपिल नहीं थी, आराम से सोने को मिल गया एसी में रिलैक्स होके, like a cozy cushion seat.
Hello, sir. Good afternoon.
Afternoon.
My name is Simran Sharma. I'm from LLM IP. Sir, my question is a bit offset because, as you said, this G20 is about people's G20, right? So I would like to mention an unseen side of G20 summit. In Delhi only, near Vasant Kunj side, there is a slum area where for the delegates, the area was covered with green cloth so that the delegates cannot see the other side of whatever we are in India. So, sir, just to put a light on it, just a second. Where we are getting connected with international, countries, and we're talking about African countries, collaborations and all. We are tending towards the mass who are privileged, and then we tend to move away to and put a veil towards the underprivileged. So, sir, when we talk about law and morality, where do we stand in this summit? Because as rightly mentioned by you that G20 for this year, for India, it was people's G20. So what about them? Do we stand in this place that we tend to focus only towards the mass that is growing, the mass that is so privileged? So, as in philosophy also, I do not recall the philosopher's name, but as men are born in chain, but everywhere he's in chains only. So the ones who are in chain, we tend to put them in chains only, and we tend to either be it very logically or illogically, we suppress them. So, sir, just want to know what is your point in this?
I think it's a brilliant question. It's a brilliant observation, and the answer is with you yourself, Ms. Sharma. I'll tell you how. I wanted to touch the word philosophy in this answer, but you touched it rightly. It has to start from somewhere. I'll take an example for myself. When I was a kid, any guest coming to our house, mom, dad, safai karo, clean karo, fatafat. हम लोग क्या करते हैं? अपनी books को यूं dump करते हैं. Let me take a liberty of take rooms of the talking, sharing an experience of our own rooms, study rooms. Shoes यूं dump करे, shoes में socks पड़े, clothes पड़े. So we are cleaning it. So what you are observing from an article or whatever from a news perspective you are looking at, it's not about deviating away from that. It's putting a larger perspective. Now, philosophy can only be achieved when you have some finances. When people say, oh, money can't buy happiness, I say money can buy everything in the world. Trust me, money can buy every damn shit on the world. We can discuss that at length. Only when you graduate and move, once you create from money and you reach to a stage of wealth, only then you start talking about philosophy. If you are talking of philosophy before, then whatever reels you are watching, whether it is of Steve Harvey or anyone, all your ideas are just in air and you're sleeping and it's getting off. So even look at from your own personal life perspective. When we clean our room, there is still some corner in our house which is not that clean. Does that mean that we don't welcome that guest? We try to give him the best food, the best of the treatment, and we welcome our guest. So is the country. And that was the initiative taken by our Prime Minister and a lot of diplomats, and there is a team which has been working day and night for this. all this change is just not for the face of it. Yes, there is a facelift that is required because everything is all about packaging. Everything is all about presentation. It's equally important. And that is where, if you see, if there is no review or no monitoring or no circumventing of all those policies, everything will go for a toss. Even if we have to go on off track, even the preamble mentions that in Hindi or in Sanskrit, India means Bharat. So this politics and everything will keep on moving at their own pace. Coming back to your point, putting up a green cloth, I'll specify that. See, you make corridors for people to move. Now, if you keep it open, a lot of instances can happen. Even if it is happening at our house or at a wedding, if there is a wedding happening, if you're for your elder sister or brother, don't you make a walkway for the bride and the groom? Why you do that? So all the answers are lying in our practical life. It's just the way we perceive it. So I would say, as young minds, we should not get curtailed or pulled by the political articles. We should see the benefit, what lies for you people, what lies for the young talent and the opportunities. Trust me, the opportunities are humongous. Whether you talk about Invest India or various councils or various working group committees. And that is where the young talent is really picking up. So when you see a lot of reforms that is being done in this core committee, a lot of inputs were taken from the young mind. Technology coming towards health, education. I think technology is not leaving any segment which is untouched by technology. So I hope I was able to answer your question, because we can spend the whole day debating about it. But it is the perspective and the lens that how you look at it. It's not about hiding something. Sorry, like when I was the product of Amity, there was a lot of slum area around. But today there is an audience who craves. They call me, oh, can you get us the admission in Amity? So what about it? No, it's not like that. So it's all about the phase. It's all about that how you create opportunities, then from a money perspective, then how do you create into wealth, or how do you turn them into an opportunity for the young talent, variety of segments, law, constitution, all that gets framework. Thank you. Yes. I'm still short of 17 questions. I think it will be 5. But even I have to rush. So if anyone would love to have an interactive session, that will be good. Yes, sir.
Good afternoon, sir. I am Parthak.
Afternoon, Parthak. How are you?
Fine, thank you, sir. Sir, I had this question. With the current scenario of India being the 4th largest economy in the world and being a military superpower, do you think now is the right time to include India in G7?
That's a good one. Again, I think, see, why you guys are not opening up, or you are just like browsing and pulling up the statements or some questions put in by some media here and there. I think your questions are right enough, but you really need to volunteer for it. So, taking to your point, yes, India will move that path. 3rd, 4th, 5th, these numbers will keep on fluctuating. Definitely, the governing parameters would be the population. Why? Because it drives the consumption of any country. So if you look at India, China and Africa, they will almost contribute to 46% of the world population, 8.1, 8.12, wherever we land up in the couple of years. So inclusion in various platforms, G7, all other platforms you talk about, India will start taking those positions. India is already on the helm of that affairs, where you can say you are becoming the spine of many initiatives. Like as she asked about environment, the global alliance, the global biogas alliance, India is the chair, which got conceptualized all in here. So it's not about that we need to compare that what Indonesia would have done, or some people would say that India is the 18th country to host the summit out of G20 count. So to your point, yes, India is on up the radar. India is moving up the scale. And it's all between us as a people. When we talk about consumption, we talk about production, we talk about exports. That's how you build up your revenue. And the money, so the financial restructuring will help a lot of growth for Indian as a country, as a market and as a country to jump up those ladders. Because still, if you see those articles, it said that the wealth is being still controlled by the West. And that's where the South Bloc is coming up. So when we talk about the South Bloc, you talk about India, Indonesia, then Brazil, and then South Africa. So you could see that consensus coming up is that everyone is understanding that India has the power to spend and even buy the best of the Rolls Royce and the best of the Ferraris and the Ducatis. And even India, as ma'am said, that there was a green cloth. Just walk not even 1 kilometer, you would have people who can't even earn 100 rupees a day. So that's the extreme diversity that's in India. So these inclusions will happen. And that is where your subject like law will really plays the most important role.
Thank you.
Good morning, sir. I am Navneet Mittal and I'm a student of Amity Law School and I'm doing BLLB honors. Actually, sir, the last question which Ms. Sharma asked and you answered, you gave one example that like in wedding, we create a corridor for the bride and the bridegroom, but we equally decorate the sideways also. So it's just an argument, means would it not have been possible that we are creating a corridor, but for the political parties or for the people who are governing India, couldn't they have just made some effort to better up the condition of those people? It was just an argument. And the main question is that, sir, kindly enlighten us about that New Delhi declaration in G20 and why was it so difficult to negotiate on it? Means I read an article and it read that it literally took around 300 hours of non-stop negotiation to put up the Delhi declaration. So kindly enlighten us, sir.
So to your 2 points, I'll quickly try to address them. On the first one, yes, a lot of efforts are happening, but that moment was creating for the international diplomats and the international visitors coming to the city as a guest. So I'm sure when you would have moved around or went out for a night ride or the day ride, it's a huge number to manage. So all these things can't happen in day one. You would not have summed up your curriculum in just one semester. You also need 12 semesters, 14 semesters, 16 semesters to address that. It will move. So it's not to impress anyone. So we should not have that kind of any mindset. Coming on to your second point, it's not about 200 hours or 300. It's like a lot of big, I would say, stakes are involved when you are having all the big countries, not only in terms of the size, but in terms of the economies also. And when you are bringing the new emerging economies, India is still as a growing economy, emerging economy, and getting into the threshold of the developed economy. When we talk about Japan, Germany, Italy, they are gradually sliding down, including the African Union and those communities. We still say that they are still having a lot of, I would say, malnutrition and a lot of flood situations. So you have to look at a bigger picture, but it has to start from a baby step. So that baby steps needs to be looked in a right and a bright perspective. If I may say that a lot of you people are pursuing your course may not go to High Court or Supreme Courts, and I'm sure your best professors are here to guide you. But there are different subject matter experts which are required to address that subject in a different perspective. So everything needs time, everything needs a phased manner approach. It can't be just adjusted and sorted in one day. I hope I was able to give some bit of a convincing answer to you. It's not to convince anyone and make anyone happy. And it's all about to make ourselves feel proud of what we have been doing, how we have been growing as a country. And everyone talks about India is the youngest nation in the world. Average age is 29. You guys are just on that threshold. So I would like to sum up. If any other questions or if at all anyone feels, you can reach me out later. But in the interest of time, I just thought to throw the ball the other way because I felt that there's no interaction coming from this side of the table. So let's try to make it a double side engagement. I'm sorry I stretched my time beyond the limit allocated to me. So I'll sum up here and I wish you all the best. And it's a great platform. I would say India as a country is a great country to be in. Control international markets. You are the young talent, the brain, the key aspirational mind to deliver those things on the last mile. So with this, I'll sum up my session here. Thanks a ton. And thanks for listening to me.
Thank you for your kind words, sir. Moving forward, I'm all the more honored to introduce our next guest of honor, Dr. R.V. Lal, who has also joined us online. Sir is the Director Member Secretary Expert at the Appraisal Committee Industry, Ministry of Environment, Forests, Climate Change, the Government of India. Sir has been a member at the Chemical Review Committee under the Rotterdam Convention UNEP. Sir has also been involved as a scientist at the Central Pollution Control Board, Ministry of Environment and Forests. I request Sir to share a few words.
Good morning, respected dignitaries on the dais, faculties of the Amity University, and my dear students, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, thank you very much to Amity Law School, Amity University for conducting very innovative deliberations on this transdisciplinary international conference. Dear friends, as we discussed a lot of things, my other colleague on that dais, they given a presentation and the talk, very important topic they covered. Just apprise to you, like you may be aware that the India holds the presidency of G20 from 1st December 2022 to 30th November 2023. And you all have seen in the televisions and various medias, the theme of G20 summit is Basundhava Kutumbakam, that is one earth, one family, one future. And in my my colleague also explained, some of the student asked about this question, and my colleague explained the meaning of this. And you may be thinking about how this will happen, because I was also involved this whole year about this environment sustainability working group as a key member for this arrange logistic as well as technical assistance to my ministry, that is Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change. India's G20 presidency priorities have a vision which are inclusive and pragmatic, with broad areas of sustainable deliberations, which comprises many resilient growth, progress on SDG, green development and life, technological transformation, public digital infrastructure, reform of multilateral institution, women-led development and international peace and harmony. Just informed this gathering to the student, we have hosted around 200 meetings all across the country, most in all the states and union territories. And during our this whole presidency, about in G20 meetings are taking place in 13 working groups under the Sherpa track and 8 work stream under the finance track. Because in this whole, there are two important track, that is one is Sherpa track and second is this finance track.
Sorry to interrupt. Unmuted.
Yes, are you?
Yes, sir. Now you are audible.
Okay, but I didn't do anything. Maybe some technical issue. Okay, no problem. Now you are hearing us. Are you getting my voice?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you very much. Meetings, and the Ministry of External Affairs assigned the Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change to conduct G20 Environment and Climate Sustainability Working Group meetings with respect to the objective of three very important priority areas, that is arresting land degradation, accelerating ecosystem restoration and enriching biodiversity, promoting a sustainable and climate resilient blue economy, and encouraging resource efficiency and circular economy. And because I'm just giving the ideas about what are the type of discussions involved in this ECSWG group, and it is privilege and honor that I have assisted Ministry of Environment, Forest, Climate Change in G20 Environment and Climate Sustainability Working Group conducted by the ministry. And overall, in the last 1 year, my ministry has conducted conducted 4 meetings of ECSWG at different cities. That is Bangalore in February 2023, in Gandhinagar in March 2023, Mumbai in May 2023, and last ministerial meeting held in Chennai in July 2023. And in our whole, in all the meetings, something about 150 to 250 delegates they participated from various G20 countries and 10 invitee countries, and we also called something about 14 international and regional organizations. just because I involve in this various negotiation, technical negotiation, and logistic arrangement in this whole G20. Just give some of the idea about all the four meetings of this environment working group. The first G20 ECSWG meeting concluded with a positive note that all G20 countries showing interest and commitment to constructively work towards the objective of these important priorities areas with respect to land degradation, ecosystem restoration, promoting a sustainable and climate resilient blue economy, and encourages resource efficiency and circular economy. One of the students they ask the whole paras in the New Delhi leaders declaration. It take too much time with respect to the negotiation. I just informed to you, you all of you, it's not a one day process. Basically, like my this working group conducted something about 5 meetings, and we did a lot of online meeting, something about 100 meetings, online meeting conducted by this working group. Because like in a family, if there are 4 or 5 people, we didn't have the skill to collaborate and collect all these 4 or 5 persons in a one platform to think about this 85% economy, all this G20 country, how during the negotiation, and there is a procedure. You cannot put any paragraph, any thing by own. As a chairman, as a president, India presidency, we prepared a zero draft document based on our commitment with respect to our country and this whole global G20, and accordingly one para even this deliberated. I just give some idea in one of the meeting. Something about 48 hour continuously we did the meeting. 48 hour, 2 days, 2 nights. There is no break. Even we served the lunch break only for 30 minutes. To think about how the deliberation and negotiation to be taken place during this meeting. This I'm giving the idea with respect to one working group. And think about there were 13 working group under Sherpa track and some other financial track. And the second meeting of ECSWG basically also talk about I just also informed to like the first meeting the little junior officers from the various G20 countries they generally came as the meeting like second meeting some secretary level officer generally came, in third meeting some senior officers, and in the fourth meeting this divided into two part. One is the technical meeting and second is the ministerial meeting. So basically in last 4 meeting of the this environment sustainability group, we finally negotiated all the paras under this working group, and like from one group this para these negotiation text to be hand over to our Sherpa track, and then they will they collect all the data from all the Sherpa track and finally presented before the leader of the summit, that is the president of the summit, that is our honorable prime minister, sir. Now this also these there was definitely a lot of deliberation and discussions, and all the G20 countries agreed on the pressing need for the concert global efforts and immediate action required given a different current scenario. And this is all about the second meeting. And the third environment climate sustainability working group meeting held in concluded in the Mumbai, and this is this was very important and meeting for this under this group, because in this we talk about and focus on this blue economy, and was supported by two side event, that is mega beach cleanup event and ocean 20 dialogues. And the mega beach cleanup event in Juhu in Mumbai also a successful event, which was saw participation of 20 countries and 37 Indian beaches from coastal state and UTs. And also inform to you the massive draft organized to sensitize people and create awareness is aligned with the Honorable Prime Minister message on Swachhta and Jan Bhagidari, and highlights the significance of lifestyle for environment concept. And just and overall something about 16,000 volunteer participated in this program. And I also, because I've seen this meeting, most of the in these meetings, this international workshop, a lot of students are attending this. I advise to all of you, just read this lifestyle for environment concept and the manuals and the guidelines. It's available on our ministry website. This will really help you, you all as well as to me also, to build up how best country in the world, in the globe. This is my advice. Please read this. This is very, very important document. And the fourth and last environment climate sustainability working group concluded in the Chennai with the consensual adoption of an outcome document, that is Chennai high level principle for sustainable and resilient blue ocean based economy. And this document will also be submitted to the leaders for their consideration for G20 New Delhi Leaders Declaration, which was recently approved by this approved by our this G20 countries, and these ministers also adopted the outcome document and chair summary during this fourth meeting. And the success of G20 Environment and Climate Sustainability Working Group endeavors stands as a testimony to collective will and determination of the G20 nations to tackle environmental challenge heads on. As the India's presidency term draws to a close, the legacy of this fruitful collaboration will continue to inspire and guide global efforts towards a more sustainable and prosperous world. And overall, I can say the success of G20 we all witnessed with the leadership of our Honorable Prime Minister of India, Shri Narendra Modi ji. Thank you very much. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your thoughtful words, sir.
Arbilal ji, how are you?
I'm good, sir. I'm good, sir. How are you, sir?
I'm Professor Bandyopadhyay. You must be recognizing me.
Yes. I know you, sir. I have seen. I recognize you immediately, yes, sir.
So you are now in the ministry.
Yes, sir. Last 13 year I'm the ministry, and before that I was in CPCB and IIT Kanpur.
That's fine. Now my purpose of coming to the dais is this, that whatever negotiation has taken place, the experiences that you have gained for negotiations, if you kindly share with us, so that we can share with our students.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I will share this.
This is very important, because our students also need to understand the negotiation in their career. So how really you went about doing the negotiation at the ministerial level, at the official level, and also protecting the interest of the country. I think if any narratives have been developed, if you kindly share with us, that will be great actually, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And within 1 or 2 minutes, just apprise to how this will happen. Generally, we prepare a zero draft document, and depending upon each and every line, comma, and sentence, depending upon our country commitment, we have to prepare the answers one by one. And this we also involve various line ministries, state government, and various rules and regulation depending upon this draft prepared. And during the deliberation we continue to discussion, and when any tax is negotiated during that time, we think about our sustainable development goals and everything, because it's not only the commitment given there, because this commitment is basically giving a lot of facts and ideas with respect to our country development. So that's why a lot of deliberation. I will share how this is going on, because the time is very less. That's why I didn't keep that because the 10 minute is very less. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you for your thoughtful words, sir. Now we will begin with the felicitation of our guest.
We would have really liked our online guests to join us on the campus, but although they are not here, we would really like to honor them, and we'll ensure that all their honorary mementos and shawls that will be reaching them soon. So thank you so much, sir, for joining us online. We will begin with the physical felicitation now.
Now I request Professor Dr. Shefari Raizada ma'am, Professor Dr. Arvind P. Bhanu sir and Chairman Professor Dr. D.K. Bandyopadhyay sir to felicitate our honorable guest Mr. Manu Seth sir. With utmost delight, I had now like to introduce Professor Dr. Arvind P. Bhanu sir, Additional Director, Joint Head of Amity Law School, Noida. Sir has been working in the field of law for more than 2 decades. He has served various institutes in different capacities. He specializes in constitutional law and has his doctoral dissertation degree in the area of his specialization. We welcome you, sir.
थैंक यू वेरी मच. व्हाई आर यू रनिंग? भाई ये लास्ट है ना, लास्ट सेशन है, इसमें तो आपको रहना चाहिए.
Just wait for 5 minutes. Just wait for 5 minutes.
You all are requested to sit down, please. So, my dear students, you have attended, the thorough discussion, a thrilling discussion on transdisciplinary. Transdisciplinary is an approach, is a mode, is a concept too. So, what has been taken place in the morning sessions, I would like to take very few minutes for explain this point from a teacher's point of view. Just let us start from a word discipline to multidiscipline to transdiscipline. So you have seen that there is a movement towards the approach of the learning. And every learning is always addressed to solving the problems. Because what happens, what do we do, what do we learn? Everything goes towards and everything is done in keeping view to solve the problems. So disciplinary problem, disciplinary word, that is from the very beginning. And if I recall my days, LLB 3 years days, I can say that was the disciplinary days. Why they were disciplinary days? Because in 3-year program, we were confined to study only law. Then There was a movement in 1999 or prior to 1997. One concept was brought from the outside the India for interdisciplinary. So we moved from disciplinary to interdisciplinary. Interdisciplinary, now you are a student and you are within and you are attending all the courses at your 5 years program with the approach of interdisciplinary. Now, see that this movement has again taken one more step, that is the transdisciplinary. Interdisciplinary means the subjects of the discipline which are in coordination, like political science, economics, sociology. So these are the subjects which are in coordination with the law study. So they are falling to be attended by the interdisciplinary approach. Now you have seen, with reference to this international conference, transdisciplinary. Please don't understand that this is a transboundary disciplinary. It is a transdisciplinary. Means this is taking a further step, means going beyond the subjects which are falling to the discipline to be studied by you. That is the interdisciplinary, means you are approaching to study the law with study of the other subjects. Why you are doing so? You are seeing that G20, a long discussion in the morning sessions. We are seeing that global, that just we are coming and we are just in one of the component of the globe. And we are shrinking. We are coming together. Therefore, we are approaching from interdisciplinary to transdisciplinary. Transdisciplinary means here science, engineering, etc. They all are coming together to be studied by the law students. I can recall yesterday my chairman, Professor Bandyopadhyay, sent a mail. And in the mail, it was written that we need, the faculty consent to teach the engineering student in our MIT Tashkent campus, Tashkent University. It means the engineering students, science students, they are coming ahead and they want to learn law. So what is this? This is the transdisciplinary approach to study the law. Now, my assessment with reference to hearing all the deliberations on the point is that we are not far behind. Then we will be approaching the transboundary interdisciplinary approach. We are taking. So in that connection, you have heard a lot of words of wisdom. Just like Professor Dr. Nishtha Jaswalji, Vice Chancellor from NLU, Himachal Pradesh, she wonderfully expressed her own understanding regarding the several words which are the part of the title of the international seminar. She gave her own thought like Equitable word. She attended Equitable word from her own understanding of law. She precisely mentioned that equitable words means where there is a justness, fairness, and reasonableness. So we all are expecting. We all are expecting. Then she also explained the word resilience. With not only she stopped, but she used, the literature, her own understanding from Sanskrit language, from Hindi language, from English language too. She quoted Vivekananda ji. And in the last when she concluded by taking the reference from Panch Tattva. And one of Tattva, I am just quoting which she has said. सागर की गहराई से गंभीरता सीख ले means what is the natural पांच तत्व. मैडम कहती हैं कि उनसे हमें सीखना चाहिए. मुझे लगता है कि आज की इस कॉन्फ्रेंस का वो एक सार है, वो हम सभी को सीखना चाहिए. मैं कहूंगा कि मैम का जो ओजस्वी भाषण है वो बहुत अच्छा है और हमारे लिए समझने के योग्य है. इसके लिए मैं उनका बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद करता हूं. उन्होंने अपना वक्त निकाला. She came here not only she spared her time. She is a vice chancellor. She is having a lot of work. She spared the time. लेकिन इसके बाद उन्होंने एक काम और भी किया. उन्होंने एक कोलैबोरेशन के हाथ बढ़ाया and she collaborated this conference. So I am thankful to her. Now I am coming to our guest of honor, a great orator. Though I cannot assess, but I can say he is a great orator, Mr. Manu Seth sir. I appreciate, sir, what you have said on G20. There are several questions. Students were so much motivated to raise the questions. मैं समझता हूं कि कोई भी जब अपनी बात कहे और उसमें क्वेश्चंस आए, इंटरेक्शन आए, तो उससे बड़ा कोई ऑरेटर नहीं है. सर, आपने वक्त निकाला, हम आपके बहुत बहुत आभारी हैं. थैंक यू वेरी मच. Our guest, Dr. R.V. Lalji, who explained very vividly what India's policy is in progression in environmental law, in environmental field. What India is doing and what India has done and what India is deliberating for doing in the future in the environmental field. बहुत अच्छी तरह से उन्होंने अपनी बात को कहा, टाइम निकाला, हम लोगों के लिए समझाया. मैं उनका तहे दिल से धन्यवाद अदा करता. तालियां बजती रहें सभी के लिए तो ठीक लगेगा, क्योंकि धन्यवाद भाषण में तालियां बजती रहनी चाहिए. Now I am coming very quickly. Our honorable Professor Justice Tandon जी, उन्होंने बहुत अच्छी तरह से हमको थ्रू द आर्टिकल 51 and 51A अपनी बात को कहा. कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन के माध्यम से हम सभी को समझाया कि हम किस तरह से ट्रांसबाउंडरी नॉलेज की बात करें, ट्रांसबाउंडरी डिसिप्लिन की बात करें और किस तरह से हम लोग आगे जा सकते हैं और किस तरह से हम वसुधैव कुटुंबकम को सार्थक कर सकते हैं. सर, मैं आपके लिए बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद देता हूं. वी आर ग्रेटफुल टू यू. नाउ अवर बंदोपाध्याय जी, डीके बंदोपाध्याय जी, चेयरमैन साहब, हमेशा हमारे लिए एक गाइडिंग सोर्स हैं और वो जो बात कहते हैं वो बड़ी ही अच्छी बात कहते हैं, हमेशा समझने की बात होती है. एक बात आप लोगों ने सुना, उन्होंने कहा कि वी आर एट द जंक्शन एंड वी आर पासिंग थ्रू द स्टेज वेयर द changing understanding of law we are getting. Changing understanding of law. So I am saying that the classical understanding of law is now differing from the modern understanding of law. Why I am calling modern understanding of law? Because we are not confined within the boundary of India. Our law students not only learning, though he is just sitting in the classroom, but he is study, the beyond the boundary. तो इस तरह के उनके गहरे शब्दों के लिए, फिलोसफिकल दार्शनिक भाव के लिए जो आपके साथ उन्होंने साझा किया, मैं उनके लिए बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद देता हूं. Now, our Vice Chancellor, Honorable Ma'am, Walibinda Shukla ji, she has been busy, therefore she could not attend this conference, but always she gives her blessings to us, strength to us, guidance to us, direction to us for conducting such kinds of the seminars, webinars for you specifically, students. We are thankful to her. We are grateful to her. But we cannot forget one man who is behind all these shows, all the progress, all our dean. He is only one man, Honorable Founder President. आपने देखा कि आज हम एक ट्रांसडिसिप्लिनरी ट्रांसबाउंड्री की बात कर रहे हैं, बट उन्होंने डिकेड्स पहले ही ड्रीम डिकेड्स पहले कि हमारे यहाँ पर जो स्टूडेंट पढ़ेगा वो सिर्फ क्लास में पढ़ेगा, लेकिन वो वर्ल्ड की पढ़ाई करेगा, दुनिया की पढ़ाई करेगा। यह उनका विजन था, फाउंडर प्रेसिडेंट। और वो विजन आप देख रहे हैं सभी सार्थक हो रहा है। हम उसके लिए बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद अदा करते हैं। वी आर ग्रेटफुल टू हिम। Our Honorable Chancellor has been our very motivating source. He guides us, he directs us whenever we need his help. हम उनके लिए भी बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद देते हैं। Now we cannot forget the organizing committee. The organizing committee who conceived this idea. This idea not only be conceived by the organizing committee led by Dr. Saif Ali Raizada for the 6th edition of the conference, but 6 years back she thought of this idea. She thought of this idea to going beyond the boundary of the class, imparting the education to our students. The education which is not applicable to India but applicable to beyond the boundary. So you know the legal education is always for solving the problems. For this idea, for organizing this, international conference, I, on behalf of you, क्योंकि हमने भी लर्न किया, आपने भी लर्न किया, I extend my sincere thanks to organizing committee, including Dr. Saif Ali Raizada. But you try to understand कि जो main force है, main ताकत है, main strength है organizing इन सभी कार्यक्रम की, वो हमारे चेयरमैन साहब हैं। तो हम चेयरमैन साहब को बिल्कुल नहीं भूल सकते। तालियां हो जाए चेयरमैन साहब। Very quickly, I am grateful to our colleagues वो यहाँ पर आए या अदरवाइज उन्होंने सुना या सपोर्ट दिया। I extend my sincere thanks to them, but I cannot forget you because आपके बिना ये कार्यक्रम नहीं हो सकता। Your presence in this auditorium is indispensable. I can say though it is being organized for you for your benefit, but your presence is required. तो मैं आपको भी अपने तहे दिल से धन्यवाद अदा करता हूं कि आप इतनी देर तक रहे और आपने सभी लोगों को सुना। Thank you very much, my dear students. We cannot forget to organize this in hybrid mode or the virtual mode or something like this. From different part of the country, the speakers have come. They deliberated upon, but it could only be happened with the help of IT support. तो मैं IT support को भी धन्यवाद देना चाहूंगा। Now, one more, the very creative, बहुत बड़े कार सेवक है हमारे साथ ये ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में, वो हमारी स्टूडेंट टीम है। हर तरह से वो मेंटेन करते हैं। स्टूडेंट्स ऑर्गेनाइजिंग टीम फॉर दिस कॉन्फ्रेंस, मेरा उनके लिए बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद, बहुत बहुत थैंक्स। Last but not least, that 80 participants have registered themselves and they have participated, presented their paper either through offline or online because parallel technical sessions are going on. हम उनके लिए भी इसी मंच से बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद देते हैं. Now अगर कोई बाकी रहा हो थैंक्स के लिए तो मैं उसको भी थैंक्स देता हूं और आप सभी के लिए धन्यवाद और सबके लिए थैंक यू थैंक यू थैंक यू.
We thank you, sir, for your appreciation. Now we request everyone to stand up for the national anthem.
As our inaugural ceremony comes to close, we would like to request our participants and technical session chairs to join their respective technical sessions.
Thank you so much, dear participants, for showing your active interest and for showing patience here. We will begin our technical session round from 1:30 p.m. onwards. Thank you so much.
To join their respective technical sessions for paper presentation round. But before that, please proceed for lunch in F2 back foyer. Then you can report to G01, I3 and I3 seminar hall, ground floor for your physical technical session rounds in I block. Thank you.